What's up, my students? Welcome to Station Middle School, home of the Bulldog. And the what? The Bulldog Nation. You know who it is. It's your boy. It's your cousin. It's your uncle. It's your nephew. It's Coach Hopkins, baby. Hey, welcome to be back. It's our second day, Station Middle School. Listen, let's get this party started off right. Let everyone stand for our pledge. Everyone stand where you are for our pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you very much. You all may have your seats. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get through these announcements real quick. Hey, this is our first day doing this live on TV, baby. We love to be live because we're going to go all the way live. Hey, from this year on out, here on out, it's going to be epic. This thing started real quick. Here we go. We want to announce to all of our cross-country runners, please meet after school today from 3:30 to 5. Meet by the bleachers. This is from the coach, Coach Brinsky. All right? So any ladies and gentlemen who are still interested in running cross-country, you can jump on it ASAP. Let's hurry and get those physicals in. Okay, let's get your paperwork in and get you going. I do want to make a good announcement that I got cleared on yesterday. If you're wanting to play volleyball and want to do cross-country, you can do both if you can manage it. Okay, there's only one day that conflicts on the day of a game. Okay, other than that, you can do both, ladies. All right, so you can do volleyball and you can run cross-country. Hey, it's all about being in shape anyway, right? All right. Listen, we do have football practice, rain or shine. We got football practice, so boys, prepare to stay for practice today. And we got to get this weekend because this weekend we have a jamboree, which is going to be this Saturday at East Middle School. All right, we travel to East Middle School this Saturday for a jamboree. About 10 teams there, so we'll get some good competition there. Students, if you want to meet us out there, I believe I want to say it's $3 for students, $4 for parents, okay? So let's make sure that you want to get us out there, we'll get you going, all right? Also, volleyball practice starts today as well. I think they're still doing tryouts, so that's going to go from 4 to 5:30. Please, ladies and gentlemen, make sure your parents are on time to pick you all up, all right? We do have families as well, so make sure your parents are on time, all right? Also, our first home game is coming up next week, ladies and gentlemen, right after Labor Day. It's next Tuesday. We got a volleyball home game and we got a football home game, all right? So that was crazy. I don't know who scheduled that. But anyway, we're going to make it do what it do. All right? So make sure you prepare to stay after school next Tuesday for our first home game against North for the football game and against Mount Moran with volleyball. So we want to make sure that we have a big turnout on our home game. We got some things that we're going to do in the crowd to get you guys going, to get you pumped. All right? I do need about four guys. One to help me run clock and 3 to help me run chains, okay? I'll make it worth your while, all right? So come see me if you're interested in doing that we're only going to have one team so far, okay? So we're only having the varsity team, so that game will start at 5 o'clock, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that's all my announcements that I have right now. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to the Miss Angel Dalton, your assistant principal of Station Middle School. Let's give it up. Woo!
Good morning, Statesville Middle. I'm Angel Dalton. I'm the assistant principal, and I need every student to have your planner or your agenda out in front of you, and we're going to start in your handbook on the very first page. On the first page is a letter from Miss Campbell welcoming you to Statesville Middle School, and at the bottom is notes that say to read this guide carefully.
Teachers, we know it's kind of quiet. We're trying to figure out how to make this louder. Drop me an email if you can't get it all once the song comes on. Thanks.
as well as it says you will learn how to do the right things so good things will happen for you. And SMS reserves the right to make any modifications to the handbook, and in the event changes are made, you will be notified and given the details of the changes. So we're going to start on page 2. At the top of page 2 has our operations for the day. Our student hours are from 8:20 to 3:30, and you notice that there are signs on the doors that say the students will not be allowed to enter until 7:30 in the morning. Next, in the morning expectations, if you are a car rider, you can be dropped off in the loop. We just ask that you are dropped off at an earlier time so that you don't have cars in the loop as well as buses. If there is a bus, we just ask for you to pull up on the top part of the street on Clegg Street for them to drop you off, and to safely come down the steps, look for buses before you come into the building. If you are a bus rider, you're going to be left off at the circle. Your first thing that you should do when you come in is come straight into the building, and at that point you need to decide whether or not you are going into the gym or if you are going to breakfast. If you are going to breakfast, that needs to be done not going into the gym, because you will not be allowed to go from the gym into breakfast. Next, supervision begins at 7:50, so does breakfast begin at 7:50. There should not be any students in the cafeteria until the teachers on duty report, and they will let you know that they are out there so that you can come in for breakfast. For breakfast, it is not a social time. You are in the cafeteria to eat. So students are to go to breakfast as soon as they arrive on campus and should not go to the gym or class first. Students are to go through the breakfast line, sit in line order at the table as directed by any adult, and eat with the appropriate amount of time. Socializing should be and will be limited. Please be sure to clean up your mess by throwing away trash and cleaning up any spills. When you are finished eating, you are to report to the gym. While you are in the gym, you will be released from the gym based on your grade level. Students are to immediately report to your first class of the day. There should not be socializing in the hallways. That clogs up the hallways and keeps others from getting to class. From 8 o'clock to 8:20, all students and staff will participate in sustained silent reading. So if you are in your Bulldog class, prior to announcements coming on, that you should have some reading materials. All students will have access to check out books from the library, and some of your teachers may have reading materials in their class. We will do our best to have morning announcements to start promptly at 8:20, and you should be listening and be attentive to your announcements as they are on, whether they are over the PA system or here in the production room. Next is expectations during class. Bulldogs are to be accountable, respectful, and kind, and you should have had a classroom lesson yesterday with the BARK matrix, and that's for all adults and other students. Lunch expectations. Students are to walk quietly in their line to and from the cafeteria. Classes are in session, so we're asking you to be respectful to your other fellow classmates and hold down the level of noise. Students owing lunch fees in a cafeteria for more than 4 days will be given an alternative lunch of a cheese sandwich possibly. It could possibly be a chicken sandwich is the latest thing that we've heard, but it still will be an alternative lunch. So what we would like for you to do is make sure that you are bringing in your lunch money to keep your account current. Later on, we will talk some more about the probation list if you owe fees. Next, once you are in the cafeteria, you should get in the line to obtain your lunch and sit at your appropriate table. During lunch, you should socialize at your own table. This should not be where you're moving from table to table, talking to this person and that person. You are to sit at your table and eat lunch. You should get all of your utensils, condiments like ketchup or mustard, napkins, and everything the first time you come through it. And that includes your water cup when you come through the line the first time. You should not roam around the cafeteria, and you should get permission from your teachers to move to another seat. Make sure that you are cleaning up your areas in the cafeteria. You will be asked at some point to possibly wash the tables or sweep the floor. Every class should have one table washer and one sweeper to sweep around your tables and to wipe off your tables before you leave. Next, one thing that we do need to talk about is items purchased in the cafeteria needs to be eaten in the cafeteria. If you bring a big bag of Takis for lunch, you need to eat it at lunch, because we're not rolling it up and taking it with us. So whatever it is that you bring for lunch, it needs to be eaten at lunch. Next, class change expectations. You have 3 minutes in between classes to change to your next class. During that time, you should walk on the right side of the hallway. Move quickly and quietly through the halls. Your teacher should have a designated spot for you to stand before you are greeted coming into their classrooms. What I ask for you to do is make sure that you're standing in a line, and not necessarily standing out in the middle of the hallway, which clogs up the hallway to where others can't get past you. Next is end of day dismissal. Classes, you should not leave that class until the 3:30 bell. Car riders, you need to report to the car rider line, and you should not get into your car on Front Street. Your parents need to come through the loop to pick you up. Next, for bus riders, make sure that you report to the front to get on your bus. Next, keep in mind that sometimes buses come in at different times and it may not always be in the same spot, so you may need to walk around at the front of the bus to see where your bus could be. We need you to get directly to your bus and not stand outside and to socialize and talk, because that's the quicker that you can leave the school grounds, the faster that you get on the bus. If you are an athlete or staying after school for clubs, make sure that you are staying with an adult and that your parents have the time that they need to come and pick you up. Okay, next we are going to page 4, attendance. Students are allowed 10 absences during the school year, and 5 early dismissals and/or tardies equals 1 absence. More than 10 absences, whether excused or unexcused, will put you at risk for promotion to the next grade. If you have been absent, it is extremely important that you come and bring in an absence note to let us know the reason that you were absent so that we can get that coded for you. There are waivers to this policy if there are extreme circumstances, and one thing that you need to keep in mind that if you have more than 10 tardies for a school year, that you wouldn't be eligible for perfect attendance, and that we are not signing you out after 3 o'clock. Next is school policies and procedures. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is school bus transportation. I need for all of you to understand that riding the bus is a privilege and it is not a right, which means it can be taken away. Students at all times while riding a school bus or other school vehicle shall observe the directives of the bus or vehicle driver. So it's very important that you are listening to your bus driver's directions. You're sitting with your seat to the seat and your back to the back of the bus. Your feet should not be out in the aisles, and we should be keeping our hands and feet to ourselves. So the following conduct is specifically prohibited: stopping, impeding, delaying, or detaining a bus or school vehicle, disturbing the peace, order or discipline on a bus or school vehicle, refusing to obey the driver's instructions, refusing to meet the bus at the designated stop, tampering with or willfully damaging the bus or school vehicle, getting off the bus at an unauthorized stop, distracting the driver's attention by participating in disruptive behavior while the vehicle is in operation, failing to observe established safety rules and regulations, willfully trespassing upon school bus or school vehicle, fighting, smoking, using profanity, possession or using drugs or intoxicating beverages, or otherwise violating any other board policy or school rule while the school bus or on another school vehicle, or any behavior that may endanger lives or property. And typically what happens with your bus driver, they will send a referral to the office. Either Ms. Bowman or myself will process that office referral and have a conversation with you and your parents about your behavior on the bus and why your privilege is being taken away. It could be possibly a day, it could be a few days. There have been instances where students haven't been able to ride the bus for the remainder of the school year. So please keep in mind of the proper procedures for riding the school bus. Next is early dismissal from school. Your parent or guardian must come into the office and sign out on the computer. Parents will wait for you in the office. If someone other than your parent is coming, we need to have some documentation from your parent giving them permission to pick you up. Late arrivals or early checkouts will be marked as a tardy. Remember that 5 tardies will equal 1 day's absence for attendance purposes. Visitors in the building. Parents or visitors must report to the office. Parents and visitors must obtain an identification name tag in the office when they use the computer. Telephones. Phone calls will be allowed for emergency purposes only and at the discretion of your teacher, which means that it's up to your teacher whether or not you can use the phone or if they send you to the office to use the phone. Next is lockers and book bags. Remember that the locker is the property of the school system. Ms. Campbell or myself, with any reasonable suspicion, may search a student, their personal possession, their locker and or book bag without prior notice to a student. Periodic general inspections of lockers may be conducted by the school authorities at any time. Lockers are provided for the convenience of students, but are not required. Each student is responsible for the contents in his or her locker. Students are required to keep lockers closed and locked when not in use. Students are required to rent a combination lock of $3. This lock will be returned to the school at the end of the year. If the lock is lost, the student will be required to pay for a replacement. Okay, students must go to their lockers at designated times only. So we are now turning over to page 5. Medication. Medication will be kept and dispensed by the school nurse. If you have prescription medication that needs to be taken during the school day, there is a form that needs to be completed and brought to Nurse Duncan for us to be able to administer medicine here during the day. And this is not medicine like a ibuprofen or Advil. It would be medication for a ongoing illness, to something that needs to be taken every day. Because as a school, we cannot provide students with Advil or anything along those lines. We can't even give you cough drops. Next is cafeteria and child nutrition. Students may purchase breakfast and lunch in the cafeteria each day or bring your lunch from home. Free and reduced price meals are available to students to meet the requirements. Application forms are available online. And right at this point, breakfast is $1.40 and lunch is $2.75. You can buy supplemental items with your meal, and they can cost up to $1.75. Students owing lunch fees in the cafeteria for more than 4 days will be given an alternative lunch until your account has been brought current. You may also wish to pay by the month. The district offers an online payment service for your parents to be able to go on and put lunch money on your account. Next, we're going to go and look at grades. You can see in your planner the grading scales. 0 to 59 is an F, 60 to 69 is a D, 70 to 79 is a C, 80 to 89 is a B, and 90 to 100 would be an A. You will get progress reports. They usually come halfway in between the 9-week period. And there in your agenda is the dates that you will get your progress reports. Below that is the dates that you will receive your report cards. Next, we will talk about academic probation. Students who are failing 2 or more subjects at the issuing of report cards will be automatically placed on academic probation. These students may be placed in a remediation class for Bulldog. Students placed on academic probation will not be permitted to participate in or attend any after-school extracurricular activities. And next we will talk about the probation list. If you are placed on the probation list, you will not be allowed to attend any extracurricular activity, and that includes sports, dances, clubs, etc., or school or grade level reward programs such as the pet rallies, the block parties, fun day, field day, those types of things, until you are removed from the list. If you are failing 2 or more classes, receive an office referral regardless of the consequence you were given. 3 or more occurrences in ISS or failure to pay fees, and that would be your technology fee. That would be you owe money in the cafeteria or lost book fees. In a timely manner, you would be placed on a probation list. You can be removed from the list once fees are paid or satisfactory behavior is exhibited, or you have brought your academic progress up to par. Next is Bulldog time, which everybody should be in Bulldog time today. All Bulldog time classes have an academic focus and will meet daily before first period. Students who are not in need of remediation will be able to select special Bulldog time classes such as chorus, yearbook, battle of the books, robotics, to name a few. Students in need of remediation will be placed in math or reading focused Bulldog class. Grades will be given for your Bulldog time class. So your attendance is important, and it's important for you to be here every day. Next is the promotion and retention policy. Students must pass at least 3 or 4 academic classes, math, science, language arts, and social studies, in order to be promoted to the next grade level. Your parents will be notified by your teacher if you are not if you are not making the standard in that class, or you could possibly be retained. Physical education. Students, you have all been given the opportunity to purchase a PE uniform. The price this year is $15. You can wear previous year's uniforms to PE class, but it is a requirement that you dress for your PE class. Your student agenda book, it is very important that you keep up with your agenda. It is your passport to be able to go to the bathroom to receive a pass from your teacher. So you need to be sure that you carry it with you to the bathroom, and I understand that I don't want to carry it in the bathroom, so you can leave it outside the door of the bathroom, but it needs to be dated, it needs to have the location to where you're going as well as the time, and to be signed or initialed by a teacher. SAP, or the Student Assistant Program, that is Mrs. Brinskill. A core team of faculty members are available to help counsel students through various student problems and difficulties. Students may self-refer or be recommended by a parent or teacher. Our SAP coordinator conducts and schedules counseling groups throughout the school year, and those groups deal with anger management, self-esteem, grief, friendship, or various things that Ms. Brinskill does. Now, for school-wide cleanliness, make sure that you're putting trash in the trash can. If a bathroom needs soap or paper towels, if you come back from the bathroom, please be sure to let your teacher know so that they can send us an email and we can have someone take those items that we need to the bathroom. There should not be any eating or drinking in the classroom. Please make sure that you place paper, plastic bottles, glass bottles, anything, cans that can be recycled into the appropriate recycling bins. Now, today was part 1 of going through your student handbook. We will continue tomorrow beginning on page 7 in Statesville Middle. I hope you have a wonderful day.